Welcome back to Garner Reviews. We are once again out in the tool shed, which means it is time to take a look at another tool, this time Festool. Now, if you guys have watched any of my previous content, you would see that I did a pretty good extensive test on a lot of the 12-volt drills that are out on the market that kind of specialize in that installation drill driver space. These are typically drills that feature a removable chuck. Sometimes they come with a right angle adapter, perhaps an eccentric chuck, and they feature a lot of just versatility for doing things like smaller installation work, especially in cabinetry, those type of tasks. They're a great little tool, and Festool was kind of the originator of the whole thing. This thing is the CXS. They also make the TXS, a little bit different form factor. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this thing has been out for a number of years. Hasn't really changed much, but really kind of created that space for other companies to kind of follow suit and kind of go down that path. So today I'm coming back to this. You may be wondering why. This was one of the first tools I did do a pretty good extensive test on. It's because this is the one out of all those other drills that I ended up going with, and I'll give you my reasons why right now. So let's pop this open though. If you guys have not seen it, this is what the CXS looks like in its sustainer. Pretty nice little setup here. Again, this is the CXS, which means C style. It's the C style drill form factor. It's a little bit different. They do make basically the same drill, but in a T formation, so that would look like your typical drill driver. This configuration, I really like this form factor. It offers some unique balance, and then a few additional features that I find pretty handy. So that's the CXS. Again, this has been around for, I want to say, at least 10 years. I may be wrong on that, but it has been around a while, and it really hasn't changed a whole lot. I think the only actual major update was the battery style changed a little bit. Originally, they shipped with a lower amp hour battery, and it kind of had more of like an actual post that would slide up into this portion of the tool. That is no longer required. It's much smaller, and it's a higher amp hour battery. So still 12 volts, and really nothing else has changed. This is still a brushed drill driver. Yeah, they haven't updated the motor or anything, but this thing is just incredible. Very precise, very smooth, and honestly, for the work that this type of drill is designed to do, more than enough power to handle all of those tasks all day long. It's very comfortable, very nice. So I'll kind of just dive in here a little bit more. Here's the drill. It does come with a second battery here. These batteries do not have any sort of charge indication on it. It's built into the tool, so in order to see it, you would have to look at this light when you pull the trigger, and it'll show you kind of the battery level. That is one possible downside that I could see people having. Here's the charger. Comes with pretty basic setup there. Now this is only going to charge the CXS and the TXS batteries. In Festool's world, there's really two battery platforms. There's this, it's two drills, that's it. And then they have really kind of their whole 18-volt line, and that's all handled on another charger. Now there is one unique battery with some of their sanders, but it will still charge on the 18-volt charger. It just won't work with any of their other 18-volt tools. It'll just fit on the sander. So kind of a little bit different setup there, but that is kind of how Festool does things. So it does come with this Centrotech chuck. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with this, I might do another video and kind of explain this in further detail, but it comes with the Centrotech chuck. You get your typical drill driver chuck or Robertson chuck. This will handle, yeah, it is 3/8 of an inch, so up to 3/8 of an inch. Pretty cool, nice little setup. Now you can get this as you see right here, or you can get it with a right angle adapter, and you can probably see that right here on the board. It would just fit right in the kit, right in there. Very nice little setup. They were out of stock on most of those. I just couldn't get it at the time, and I knew the projects I was doing at the moment I wasn't going to need it immediately, so that'll be an accessory that I add on in the future. Other than that, that's basically what this tool has for a whole system in the background, and it's just great. So I will say this, I was able to let like my wife, I let my kids play with some of these when I was doing testing and stuff like that. We were doing some small projects around the house, and they got to try a variety of those other 12-volt installation drill drivers. They almost all universally said this was the nicest. Now again, this doesn't have the most power. If you're just looking for sheer raw power, don't look here. But in terms of precision, comfort, ease of use, this thing absolutely rocks. It really does. Even my daughter, she's 5, she loves this little thing. So it just fits everyone's hand so nicely. You have two kind of options here. You can kind of grab it like your typical drill driver. You get all of your fingers in there. And I don't have giant hands, but they're pretty wide, and I get plenty of real estate in there. I mean, if you have a much larger hand, that might be an issue, but otherwise, this is kind of set up in a form factor that would mimic a like a drywall gun. So like a preferred way, my preferred way, and kind of how they have this set, you can see this cut back in here, and this over molding kind of runs up here. So I'm actually going to take the webbing, my hand right there, I'm going to get my finger and my thumb around the base there, and I'm actually going to do all my trigger control with my middle finger, right? And now when I'm actually driving something in, drilling something out, my arm, my wrist, everything is in much better alignment with the actual screw or the drill driver or the drill bit. And so I can get very precise, very nice work control in that manner. There's no tendency for my wrist to want to rotate. I can get everything locked up real nice and drive that in. That's why they do that with drywall guns. So it's kind of built all around that form factor, and it is very comfortable. Once you get used to kind of running your middle finger on that trigger, very nice and easy to do. The other nice thing, the selector switch here, still located where you would find it on almost every other drill driver, and it's very easy to manipulate even in this configuration. I can bump it with my middle finger, just kind of hit it right there along that portion, and it will throw it backwards, and then I can take my thumb and hit it the opposite way. So I can kind of keep everything here, a lot of control. It's a great little system. So another unique feature, you got the light here. It's only going to illuminate with the trigger pulled, so I'm just barely depressing the trigger right now, and as soon as I let go, it turns off. But it will then flash 3 green LEDs and show the charge level. So right now this battery is low. It's only got 1 green LED showing, so I know, okay, I've got about, maybe 30% battery life left or something. This runs for a very long time. I can use this pretty much all day, and if I'm not using it like all 8 hours, I'm using it, driving in a screw, setting things up, stuff like that, I can get easy a couple days out of this battery, no problem there. So pretty easy. Just got your green button there to depress, pulls the battery right out. You've got your pocket clip or belt clip here, very large, works very well. It's nice and deep. It fits down inside your pocket extremely well there, and it is very reversible, very easy. Just slides right out, slide it back in. Now it's on the other side, and basically the battery helps hold that in place. There's no screws or anything to mess with, and it just locks in place like that, and you're good to go. So very nice. And this feature though, right here on the front, as you can see, you got these 2 grooves here. This is magnetized. You can put bits, screws, all kinds of different things on there, and it is super, super handy. It is possibly one of my favorite features, aside from like the form factor, the precision of this right here, and all that real estate that's magnetized is absolutely awesome. And Festool, in typical Festool fashion, like these may look like just a generic kind of channel that's cut in there, and you would just throw a bit in there, but it's actually shaped uniquely, so when you drop something in there, instead of having to try to pinch it and pull it out, you just simply push it up. It's got a nice little ramp here, pops it out, grab it, you're off and running. So you can absolutely run it in this configuration, nice and short and compact, and this is basically just a 1/4 inch fitting there, so anything that's 1/4 inch will fit in there. But let's talk about Central Tech a little bit. You got your drill, your Robertson chuck there, and it basically just locks in nice and easy, good to go. So that fits on there beautifully. And then the Central Tech chuck, same thing, locks right on, you're ready to go, no problems. And then the right angle adapter basically does the same thing as the Centratec or the Jacobs chuck, and it's going to just click right on there and off you go. One thing I will note, the Festool here, if you absolutely think you need an eccentric chuck, this doesn't have it. They don't make one for the CXS or TXS. On their larger 18 volt lineup, they actually do make an eccentric chuck, but they don't for this. They never have, and I don't believe they ever are going to. And for some people that may be an issue. I was looking at it, the distance from the top of the tool here to this center line is very, very minimal. So I think because of the form factor and the size of this tool, you can get into a lot of spaces where an 18 volt tool or something that's designed a little bit differently may not fit in there, and then it requires that eccentric chuck. I think you get away with a lot on this, and so they've just never made that accessory, and I can see why. It's a very short distance from here, if you're rubbing it up against the side of a cabinet or something, to here, this center line. It's very, very close. I'm not going to measure at this moment. I don't have a tape handy, but it's very, very short distance. You can kind of tell there. It's very nice. So, and even this distance, side profile, it's just there's not a lot there to interfere with to begin with. So I think that's why they did that. That's my guess. But if you absolutely need an eccentric chuck, you're not going to find it for this tool. So let me know what you guys think. Again, I chose this because it's got perfect power for the applications that I'm going to use this on, and for what it's intended for. But the precision, the trigger, everything, it's very comfortable, very nice to use. It's very lightweight. Like I said, my daughter, she's 4 or 5, picked this up, no problem, and she can go have fun with it with me, assembling something or just spend some time together. So it's very cool. I would definitely recommend, if you guys are in the market and you're looking for something really precise and you're not worried about, hey, can I drive a giant 4-inch screw all day? Look at this, because I think it fits a lot of roles and can do the job extremely well. So I chose Festool CXS. Let me know what you guys think. All the other 12 volt installation drill drivers on the market are really well done. There's probably no wrong choice there. And if you're on a different battery platform already and they have one in that platform, probably makes sense just to stick there with that. But for me, I wasn't too concerned about it. This is a very unique tool, and I knew I wouldn't mind having kind of a very unique, precise tool for this job. So let me know what you guys think. I'll probably do a Centratec video kind of explaining how that system works on the Festool line. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one.